The Arizona Coyotes are proud to select from Tri-City of the USHL, Mitchell Miller.
That moment happened just a few weeks ago in the NHL draft when the Arizona Coyotes used their first pick of the night to call Mitchell Miller's name, a player that they knew was convicted of assaulting a mentally disabled black teen just 4 years prior.
I believe that Arizona really needs to take accountability for it and figure out what they're going to do to improve that inclusivity in the atmosphere of their specific rink.
The Arizona Republic broke the story and obtained the police reports in which they says that Miller and another student forced Isaiah Meyer Crothers to eat candy that had been in a urinal, and then the two teens punched and pushed the boy. Miller was 14 at the time, but many experts say it's simply a systemic problem with the sports community.
There are certain people, certain groups of people who are in positions of greater power and privilege, particularly males with identity characteristics of being white and straight and able-bodied.
Just the culture of the game as a whole is just is just not the greatest, which is so disappointing, just because I think that there's so much improvement to be made and there's so many action-based steps that people can take, but they're not taking them.
In a statement, the Arizona Coyotes said, "Given our priorities on diversity and inclusion, we believe that we are in the best position to guide Mitchell into becoming a leader for this cause and preventing bullying and racism now and in the future." In 2017, Mitchell was drafted by the Sarnia Sting in the Ontario Hockey League just 1 year after being charged with assault and violating the Ohio Safe Schools Act. We reached out to them for comment, but they didn't respond in time for our deadline. But this story is bigger than just this one incident.
I strongly believe that hockey is a personality. I think that if you don't fall into that specific category and have that personality, you're simply not going to have the same values and have the same morals as your teammates, just because there is a huge bro culture in hockey, and just like the disrespectful language that's used and just the culture as a whole.
Canadian NHL player Kima Lou, who has been very outspoken about racism and bullying in hockey, responded to the story saying that a black or player of color would never be forgiven for something like this.
I'm a full believer in second chances, but at the same time, what action do we want? Because for me, I know on a lot of my teams now, I would expect a zero tolerance policy.
This is an area of growth for all of us to learn more about equity, diversity, and social inclusion. And it's important that we have an open mind to learning.
Professor Kerr says that despite these ongoing issues, there is some good news, that as a society, in a broader sense, we're holding more institutions and people accountable to make sports more inclusive and safe. For City News in Toronto, I'm Lindsay Dunn.